You there. The Ivory. You look like you've got your wits about you. Care to make a bit of extra gold working for Leowin's Ivory Brigade? I've been asked by my captain to find someone who can handle themselves. We need help with a delicate situation. Deadly secrets, assassins, murder. Now apparently a counselor has gone missing. Between the war, bandits, and cultists, the Ivory Brigade is like the Nord that tries to plug a leaking cask of mead, only to realize he doesn't have enough fingers. Talk to my commander, Captain Rian Lior. You can find him just outside the city gates, trying to appease some of the nobles. Tell him I sent you, and he'll put you right to work, I'm sure.
Fancy yourself a friend to all bugs? I know some that need your help.
Want to prove yourself?
You have my word. Not now, citizen. Can't you see I have my hands full at the moment? I'm sure a guard or one of my brigadines can assist you. Why didn't you say so? Leowin's problems are legion, and now the Wood Elf Archer's predictions seem to be coming true. Damn these old Imperial secrets. Counselor Daedric has disappeared, and the Ivory Brigade is already spread too thin for my liking. The Wood Elf, Everly Sharparrow. She brought news that the Dark Brotherhood was targeting members of the Elder Council. All because of some secret of the Longhouse Emperors. We took her warning seriously, but Daedric refused Brigadine protection. With that guild of assassins, I'm not sure what to think. But Daedric is missing, and I don't have enough Brigadines at the ready to conduct a proper search. You look capable. So, care to earn some gold and help us determine the Counselor's fate? Here, let me update your map. These are places Daedric visits during her daily routine. If something befell her, it happened somewhere along this path. Meanwhile, I have Everly Sharparrow checking locations in the city. She was very eager to help. Everly Sharparrow is an adventurer from Valenwood, though I get the sense she's relatively new at the job. She recently arrived with news of a threat against the former members of the Imperial Elder Council. I was skeptical at first, but now... She told us that the late Emperor Leovic's steward was murdered by the Dark Brotherhood. Apparently, it pertains to some secret of the Longhouse Emperors, but those details she discussed with Counselor Leviticus. Everly found a number of documents pertaining to this secret. One of these contained a list of names. The steward and some of the counselors. She assumed that since the steward had already been killed, the rest of the list might be next. On paper, Countess Caro rules Leowin, but in practice, the Chamber of Legates governs the city. Legates Tebezako and Amhalu, and Counselor Leviticus. They handle day-to-day tasks. Me? I'm commander of the Ivory Brigade, Leowin's militia. Indeed. Since the fall of the Empire, the Ivory Brigade had to redouble its efforts to replace the Imperial legions. We maintain active defenses in the north to keep the ongoing war at bay, but we have our hands full with refugees, bandits, and such. The Three Banners War. Let the alliances fight over the Ruby Throne as long as they leave us in peace. I just wish I had more soldiers to spare for this new threat that Everly Sharparrow brought to our attention. Counselor Daedric was a member of the Imperial Elder Council, back when we still had an empire. Now her title is mostly ceremonial, but she continues to assist the legates by serving as an intermediary with the local nobility. Since the collapse of the Empire and the dissolution of the Elder Council, Leyawiin has become an independent city-state. Countess Caro sits on the throne, but the Chamber of Legates governs the city. I suppose the Countess is technically the highest authority in Leyawiin, but she leaves the administration of the city to the Chamber of Legates. Leviticus, another former council elder, leads this august body, along with Tebeziko and Amhalu. Councillor Jirik is a creature of habit. Her daily routine is to stroll along the river and stop to read near a cave across the way. While Everly Sharparrow examines spots the councillor frequents in the city, you should check these locations.
Captain, are you really trusting the fate of Councillor Jirik to this outsider? The Ivory Brigade requires mercenaries to do their job. Perhaps Leyawiin needs different protectors.
Councillor Jirik? Oh, pardon me. You're not the counselor. Apologies. I heard you stumbling about and thought it might be Councillor Jirik. Oh, no one important, I assure you. I'm simply one of the counselor's aides. I help her with paperwork mostly. Run errands, that sort of thing. She initially refused the captain's offer, but she received a letter that made her uneasy. Last I saw, she was headed back to the city by way of the Eastern Gate, but she never returned to her...
Someone! Anyone! Help me! I refused to believe, but Farrell, Leviticus,
They were right. I was attacked. An assassin. You must warn the others. The counselors. Leofic's secret. It will be... the death of us all!
Counselor Daedric! Damn, we're too late! Damn it, I'm too late. Poor Counselor Daedric. She didn't deserve to die like that. At least I don't think she did. Did you see what happened? The mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Just like with Farrell Lupus. Sorry. I'm working for Counselor Leviticus, the head of the Chamber of Legates. I came to Leowyn to warn him after I stumbled across some secret concerning the Longhouse Emperors. It relates to something called the 4 Ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon. I think they're Daedric weapons, but I'm still puzzling that out. I was working for Farrell Lupus before he was murdered. Found a strange tome with Daedric markings at his behest. Yeah, that's what brought me here. I found a list of names. Farrell Lupus and members of the Elder Council. It said they all knew something about this secret. Since Farrell was murdered, I figured the others were in danger too. Looks like I was right. Let me have your map. I'll mark where Councillors Valeria and Sophis were last seen. Go warn them, convince them to take precautions. Then meet me at Councillor Daedric's manor in the city. Maybe we can find something to shed more light on this secret. I'll get the city guards to come and gather the Councillor's body. She shouldn't just be left out here. Then I'll head to Councillor Daedric's manor. When you're done checking on Councillor Valeria and Councillor Sophis, meet me there. So Farrell Lupus hired me to retrieve a book from a retreat once used by the Longhouse Emperors. He never told me what it was, and he died before I could ask. The book is... weird. It has weird pages and weird markings, and I can't read a word of it. Not much. Farrell's partner said he planned to use it to make things right, but she didn't know how. And it's Daedric, I think. I will say, carrying it, it's kind of a burden. And I've been having strange dreams. But I don't want to talk about that. Like I said, it all started when I found that strange tome for Farrell Lupus, and Emperor Leovic's journal. It was in code, but I got it translated. Sent me to a few hidden Imperial caches where I learned that the Longhouse Emperors had a secret. Right, but it turned out I wasn't the only one trying to learn more about the ambitions. A group of cracked acorns called the Order of the Waking Flame. Fanatic Mehrunes Dagon cultists. Had to put arrows in more than one of those bastards. I guess someone hired them to eliminate everyone who knows about the secret. The question is, who? And I was told by a more or less friendly Dremora named Lyrinth that the fate of our world was at stake. So of course I want to figure this all out. So Farrell Lupus.
And outmatched, mortal flea. blood? The very air of this realm will destroy you. Impressive for a sack of mortal meat. Don't you just die already?
I just fell out. Better not be any...
Fantastic. Something blocking my view.
There you are. Hey there! You left so suddenly.
There is no excuse for stealing.
I'm gonna show off a little.
You killer!
Out with it. I'm too busy for pleasantries and dribble at the moment. Venus, he's dead? How? No, he wouldn't. You found it alongside the body of one of the best researchers the Guild has ever seen. Venus was a very tenacious man. If this thing killed him, it's definitely dangerous. If Venus says the stone was linked to the Prince of Change, I believe him. He was always right. It was incredibly annoying. I'm going to miss that. Thank you. As terrible as the news is, I can't imagine what not knowing would have done to me. I'll look into this strange stone immediately. It'll give me something to focus on with everything that's just happened. When reports of the portals and the cultists started coming in, Venus packed his bags. He couldn't sit idly by and wait for more news, even after I asked him to. This is the first I've heard from him. Unfortunately not. Or at least we don't yet. More researchers have gone through the portals. Maybe they'll be luckier than my Venus was. Between their findings and this stone, we will be able to uncover what Dagon is planning. We have to. What I know is that I lost someone today. Someone who died trying to get this device into my hands. I might have theories later, but for now, I need to figure out what Venus died for without the influence of my own theories. I owe him that.
We weren't expecting visitors. Are you here to see the counselor? Are you here to speak with Counselor Sophis? I'm afraid my husband has taken our dog for a walk. Is there something... Danger? What are you talking about? Does this have something to do with that letter? And who are you, by the way? Captain Rianne? I see. Well, if the Ivory Brigade sent you, my husband likes to walk our dog Chero along the tree line. Go on and find him. I'll wait here in case he returns. My husband, Valen, received a letter from an old friend this morning. Farolupus, Emperor Leovic's steward. I could see that whatever was in that letter upset him, but he didn't want to discuss it, and I didn't push him. Now please... you so long. They should...
Valen! No! Oh, Valen! Oh, my love! What happened? I thought Captain Rihan sent you to protect my husband!
You know, Valen acted strange after the letter from Farrell Lupus arrived. He didn't tell me what it said, and I never asked. Before he left today, he gave me a sealed scroll, said to give it to Counselor Leviticus if anything ever happened to him. A scroll, sealed and bearing my husband's stamp. Take it. Give it to Counselor Leviticus. I hope it helps catch whoever murdered my husband.
Love the atmosphere. I've got one rule.
Stop right there!
If you wanted to meet me, you could have. All right. But what will you do for me, sweet thing?
I couldn't have done it better myself.
My hands won't stop shaking.
Stop! Stop, miss! If I were you, I'd pay that bill. I'm going to make this hurt!
Stay alert. I have it on good authority that I'm in danger.
Of course, Counselor.
Step back and state your business. I have every reason to believe that my life is in danger. If you so much as make a threatening gesture, the Brigandine will dismember you. He has very strict orders on that regard. I was beginning to suspect as much. Very well. Tell me everything that you have learned. Leave nothing out. I want to hear it all. Lupus, Emperor Leovik's old steward? And Daedric as well? Gods, they are targeting the Elder Council. Anything else? Tell me. The slightest detail could mean the difference between life and death. The ambitions? I heard that term once before, years ago. I must go to Tidewater Cave. I have a cache hidden there, and I need to check my records. Meanwhile, I suggest you find Jirik's files. She kept them in a hidden compartment in her nightstand. Extremely well. We were rivals as well as colleagues on the Elder Council. It was that way between all of the counselors, I suppose. Her death is a tragedy, however. I will miss her. Possibly. I oversaw the Imperial Treasury, so my records deal with expenditures and collections. I have documents going as far back as Emperor Morikar, possibly even Durkarach, and I know I saw that term someplace. I will see what I can find. Extremely well. We were rivals as well as colleagues on the Elder Council. It was that way between all of the counselors, I suppose. Her death is a tragedy, however. I will miss it.
We seek brave... Never fear.
I wish I could offer you.
Remember? See? Oh no, curiosity. Terrible monster.
There are a few insect friends roaming around in the grass here. I'd rather you not step on them. Did you need something from me? Oh, I'm so glad. I really can't thank you enough for doing this. I would go myself, but it really is quite dangerous. I care deeply for these insects, but I know I'd be no help to them dead. But you look incredibly strong. I'm sure you can rescue them. Oh, what kind of question is that? Have you seen insects? I've catalogued 1,263, each one more exciting than the last. They're all so unique. I caught a rare Habanu caterpillar in Betnik recently that had 16 eyes. All insects are special, but these torchbugs happen to be very rare. You can't find this kind anywhere else. If the cavern floods, they'll die and become extinct. Oh, that would be a great shame, since there's still so much we don't know about them. The undertow torchbugs themselves should be easy enough to catch. The real trouble is getting them through the cavern itself, which I'm sure you're more than capable of handling. Just be gentle with the torchbugs, please. Take care when you handle them.
Ooh, shiny.
Oh, hey! Over here! I'm glad you're here. I've been searching all over, but I could use your help. This place is huge. Why do rich people need so many rooms? Oh, but tell me, did you warn the counselors like I asked? Sophus is dead? Damn! Was it the Dark Brotherhood? What am I saying? Of course it was! I've torn this place apart, but so far I haven't found anything related to Imperial secrets or the ambitions. Maybe you can spot something I missed. I knew you'd be a help, but I didn't expect you to just have the answer the moment you walked in. Good job! Counselor Jiric's bedroom is upstairs. Let's see if we can find that hidden compartment. You said there was a hidden... hidden compartment? I love it! I mean, I hate that people have died, but... So, what did you find? Let me see that. That's a code, all right. Some of the other documents I found use something similar. You know, I'm really starting to hate all this secrecy surrounding the ambitions. Good idea. We need to report in to Councillor Leviticus anyway. Let him know what we uncovered. If he has a qualified scribe, great. If not, I know someone. They helped me with those other documents. I can't help feeling that once we solve the secret of the Longhouse Emperors, we'll know how to stop the Dark Brotherhood from murdering any more of the councillors. I'll see you at the castle.
I need your report. I need your report, mercenary. Word reached me that Councillor Daedric was murdered. What about Sophus and Valeria? And did you find definitive proof that the Dark Brotherhood is our culprit? That's the Black Hand, symbol of the Dark Brotherhood. I wish Daedric and Sophus had allowed me to assign brigadines to protect them. At least Valeria, however reluctantly, agreed to a military escort. Did you and Everly uncover any other information? It appears that Councillor Leviticus's trust in the Wood Elf was not misplaced. Very well. You and Everly can head in and talk to the Councillor.
Captain Rian and the Ivory Brigade will deal with the Dark Brotherhood. We're perfectly safe in here.
Your damn empire, Leviticus. It no longer exists, but it still causes us trouble.
To keep a situation like this a secret from his fellow legates. What was Leviticus thinking? And now Councillor Daedric is dead? When the river rises, everyone gets wet, I'm afraid. Most certainly. Moments after the captain brought Councillor Leviticus the news, the councillor summoned Teb and myself. He explained everything. He should have done so sooner, allowed us to help, but I know he thought he was doing the right thing.
You must be the mercenary that Captain Rian told me about. And I see you're working with Evely Sharparrow. Good. Good. I assume you have something to report. I'm listening. Damn it all to oblivion and back. I should have taken Faro Lupus more seriously when I received his letter. This is definitely the mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Anything else to add to this? Yes, that's the Longhouse Emperor's code. Only a handful of Imperial scribes can decipher it. I know one. Baragon. I'll send for him at once. Meanwhile, we must warn the remaining counselors on the list. Eivor, Valeria, Itinia, and Vandacia. Very good. I've sent messages to Itinia and Vandacia already, as neither of them are currently within Leowin's jurisdiction. I need you to go to Fort Blueblood. Counselor Eivor has taken refuge there, but I'd prefer to have her here in Leowin. Everything we do now must be swift if we are to get ahead of this. Go to Fort Blueblood and convince Counselor Eivor to return to the city. She'll be safer here than at the fort. Sadly, no. Whatever Leovic confided in Faro Lupus and the others, whatever he ordered them to do, he kept it a complete secret from me. I suppose he assumed I wouldn't go along with anything illegal or Daedric, and he was right. I was, but the Elder Council was made up of almost 24 counselors. According to the list Evely Sharparrow brought me, only 7 counselors were privy to this secret. Make that 6. I have no idea why Leovic listed me among that group. Who knows what was going through Leovic's head when he wrote that entry in his journal? Varen and his rebels were literally pounding at the doors of the palace at the time. And Leovic wasn't totally in his right mind even before the rebellion. Eivor has always had an affinity for the Imperial military. When she received her letter of warning from Faro Lupus, she sent word to me, told me she was going to the fort, that the soldiers would protect her. I fear she is badly mistaken. Only a token force of Brigadines guards Fort Blueblood. If the Dark Brotherhood is truly our enemy, I fear a lone assassin can bypass the fort's defenses with relative ease. Eivor would be better off here in the castle. Go and bring her back at once.
Fort Blueblood? That's to the east, across the river. I'll meet you there. Look, Counselor Leviticus and Captain Rianne sent me. I need to see Counselor Eibor now.
And what about my sister? She hasn't been seen since she took the Counselor her meal.
Counselor Eibor was very clear about this. She doesn't want to be disturbed. Oh, another mercenary. Is our Ivory Brigade so enfeebled that Captain Rianne must resort to hiring sellswords? Look, as I told the Wood Elf, Counselor Eibor was quite insistent. She doesn't want to be disturbed. All right, enough. I can see when I'm being overruled. Very well. I give you permission to enter the watchtower. Counselor Eibor's safety is now in your hands. Lurius? Oh, something about his sister. She's another servant here at the fort. Works in the kitchen, I believe. Apparently, she brought the Counselor her meal. He says she never returned, but the servants look for any opportunity to sneak off. The Counselor demanded we protect her. Said her life was in danger, but refused to give me any details. Imperial confidentiality, she insisted. Above my station.
Oh no! Counselor Eibor's been murdered! But where's the servant? The Dark Brotherhood's calling card. Of course they tore out the pages and took them, just when we were so close to finding out more about the ambitions. Eibor's meal is still warm. So what happened to the servant that delivered it? We have a door locked from the outside, a dead counselor, and a missing servant. Did the assassin take off with both the torn-out journal pages and the servant? Anyway, they not only murdered Eibor, they probably know how to find the ambitions now. See that rope hanging from the top of the tower? Bet my bottom acorn that's how the assassin got in and out. But the missing servant... something about that is knocking on the back of my head. And why would the Dark Brotherhood take those pages? Maybe, but everything I've read about the Dark Brotherhood never suggested they would be interested in weapons of war, if that's even what the ambitions are.
So, will Counselor Eibor be returning with you to Leowyn? Am I fine? Murdered? Gods, keep your voice down. Do you want to start a panic? Tell me what you found in the watchtower. Let me see that. A black handprint. The sign of the Dark Brotherhood. But where is the servant, Thales? Is she involved in this fiasco? And how did she and the assassin get out of the watchtower? My brigadines never left their post. Well, that explains some of it, but not all. We need to locate Thales. Since you're already involved and working for Captain Rianne, I want you to quietly try to find Thales. Start by talking to the other servants in the kitchen and dining hall.
Your sister is fine. This one is certain.
Then where could she be? She would never neglect her duties.
Probably found a dark corner and someone to snuggle with. This one does that all the time. Pleasant days, visitors. How can this one assist you? Ah, Talais. She worries her brother so. She asked me where we kept the hot root flakes. Counselor Eivor sprinkles them on every dish. I told her they are in the pantry, but you need the key from the kitchen to unlock the door.
All right, grab a broom and start sweeping.
What? No, that's Talais' job.
And do you see Talais anywhere? No. Then start sweeping.
Another new face in the fort? First Counselor Eivor, now you and that cute wood elf. Look, I'd love to chat, but Talais has wandered off and left me to handle her chores. She took the Counselor her meal and hasn't returned. Did you check the watchtower? Eivor's a little old, but maybe Talais decided to improve her station, if you catch my meaning. Eivor reeks of fear. Maybe Talais finds that attractive. Well, she's been acting like a frightened guar since she arrived. Stays locked up in the watchtower. Only lets a single servant in at a time. And I hear she's been burning papers. Documents of some kind. She's scared out of her wits, if you ask me.
The servants come to the kitchen to mutter and gossip. This one will not have it. Misaba asks that you do not distract them overly long, as they are already naturally lazy. What is it that you need? That young woman. She has not returned from the watchtower, so her chores remain undone. And she took the pantry key with her when she went. It is no longer hanging on its hook. That is a clear violation of the kitchen rules. A clear violation. The pantry is in the cellar, but the door is around the side of the building. Talais mumbled something about how the counselor loves hot root flakes, grabbed the key and the tray of food and went off. This one hasn't seen her since.
Before we check the pantry, let's talk. So, what did we learn? Counselor Eivor was frightened, but that's understandable. Interesting that she was burning documents. Her journal indicated that she knew more than the others. And Talais visited the pantry before heading to the watchtower. Couldn't hurt. And every mystery novel I ever read taught me you should always follow up on every clue, even the ones that seem insignificant. Let's check the pantry and see if she was looking for more than hot root flakes down there. What do you want? They murdered Talais too! Why would the Dark Brotherhood murder... Oh no! We need to talk about this! Alright, I think I figured it out. The assassin followed Therese down here, murdered her, and took her place so they could gain access to the watchtower. Pretty clever, but they didn't have to kill her. Right. Very funny. Wait, you're serious? If you're part of this, if you've been trying to save your murdering friends... Ah! All right, we're going back to Leowin. You can walk on your own, or I can drag your dead body behind me. Yeah, I've read that somewhere. But what about the calling cards? The Black Hand is definitely making a statement. Trying too hard to convince us that the Dark Brotherhood is behind the murders. All right, I can see your point. That doesn't change the fact that the remaining counselors are still in danger. We need to warn Counselors Valeria and Vandacia. Right. Report to Commander Orton on your way out. Tell him what happened. Then go check on Counselors Valeria and Vandacia. I need to return to Leowin and consult with Leviticus. But this, between you and I, it isn't over. Remember that. After you report to the commander, make contact with Counselors Valeria and Vandacia. Valeria went to Tidewater Cave to get her records, and Vandacia works in the Gideon Courthouse. Cracked acorns! I suddenly had the weirdest feeling come over me. Yes. No, I don't know. We were talking about the counselors, Valeria and Vandacia. Suddenly I had a premonition. It was brief and disturbing and mildly unpleasant, like the dreams I've been having. But this is the first time while I was awake. Remember I told you about that strange book I found? The one with the Daedric writing that I can't read? I've been having bad dreams since I found it, and the dreams are becoming more frequent. This time it happened right while we were talking. It was just a flash, but it was accompanied by a feeling. I felt a sense of overwhelming evil, all tied up in the figure I saw in my mind. Like someone held a portrait in front of my face for just a moment and then pulled it away. It was one of the Waking Flame cultists, I think. Someone powerful, in command. A dark silhouette wrapped in a cloak. I'll never forget the feeling it invoked. It was like a wave of hopelessness. We can deal with this later. Let's get back to it.
All right. You talked to the fort's servants and rummaged around in our pantry. What's the verdict? Did you find the missing servant? That's... Oh, that's horrible. Are you sure? No. Of course you're sure. No one would lie about something like that. I'll tell her brother what happened and send someone to tend to her body. Gods, what a day this has been.
Look, I've got just as much right to stand here as anyone else. If those scantily clad Debellites want me to leave, you tell them to come out here and say it to my face. You're not one of their sanctified bullies? That's a relief. Call me Ferric. I came to Gideon to clear my family's name, but the loose-robed fanatics in the Dibalacium want to run me off. Started with dirty looks. Now I'm getting threats. They think my Grana Cerise murdered their high priest decades ago. It's not true, and I mean to set the record straight. Might take a little snooping around, but the evidence is here. I know it. Want to lend a hand? Don't have much. Thanks for the help. Not easy for Germains to make friends around here. The Debellites use that manse in the center of town as their Dibellasium. Sort of a consecrated love nest. There's proof of Grana's innocence in Gideon, we'll find it there. Like I said, the victim was one of the Debellites' high priests, a woman named Rolaine. This was 60 years ago, mind. But my grandfather tells me the locals worshipped the ground she walked on. Thought she was a prophet, or something near to it. Aye, my Grana Cerise was Rolaine's flower bearer. Followed her everywhere she went. When a heap of treasure went missing and Rolaine vanished, Grana was the prime suspect. No one could prove it, of course, since they never found her. Like wood smoke in a windstorm, and without breathing a word to my Grandpa Lier. Way Grandpa tells it, neither of them would so much as visit the Lou without telling the other where they were headed. But the locals wouldn't listen. These damned zealots rallied half the city, gathered up torches and shovels and ran him and my father out of town with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Even outside of Gideon, the rumors followed him. We haven't had a moment's peace since. Bravo. Took an awful long time, what with the Three Banners War and all. But I made it, and I'm not leaving till I settle this once and for all. Might have happened yesterday for all these people care. Nobody holds a grudge like an Imperial. If your name is Germain, you're lower than dirt in their eyes. I just had a son a couple years back, and he's already catching it on the chin. He's 2. An apology? I'm not that naive. I'm a carpenter by trade. I'll settle for people not hiding my tools and splitting my sawhorses 6 times a month. It's about respect. To oblivion with the rest. Like I said, the victim was one of the Debellites' high priests, a woman named Rolaine. This was 60 years ago, mind. But my grandfather tells me the locals worship the ground she... Aye. Like wood smoke in a... These damned zealots... Well, not exactly. For now, I can say I have good reason to think there's more to the story. I'll know more once we look around their makeshift Temple of Dibella, and I'll feel much better about doing that having you with me. Like I said, the victim was one of the...
They didn't like how I tucked in the bedsheet. Really? How many ways can there be?
Well?
So, this is the Dibellasium. Just what I expected.
You've got to be kidding! Better than this!
and no one's any the wiser.
You poached from another's nest. I saw. That was not yours to take.
My hand will destroy you!
Look at this place. These Debellites fancy themselves free-spirited bards blown by the wind, but they've got enough gold to make Zenithar blush. Doesn't matter. This is where we'll find our answers. I don't know yet. I just know we have to look. Take this. It's a rare bit of magic called a memory stone. Grana Cerise gave it to Grandpa Lier the night before she supposedly murdered Priestess Rolain and fled. Maybe it'll show us something. Then you'll remember they hold their owner's memories inside them. I only learned about the stone's power a year ago, when a mage passed through Bravil and took an interest. He said memory stones only awaken in the place where the memory occurred. Aye, that's the hope. I know we face long odds on this. Magic stones and lost memories sound like storybook nonsense, but it's really all I've got to go on. How about we start our search on the ground floor? Like I said, the victim was one of the Debellites' high priests, a woman named Rolain. This was 60 years ago, mind, but my grandfather tells me the locals worship the...
What is it?
Look! The stone flashed! Did you see it? Try to use it. Something's happening. Is that... It's a memory!
There are brilliant...
Who is that? Horus Mercy!
What?
north, that means... Wait, that's not right. Oh, more was mercy. A little help, anyone? Are you from around here? Sorry, I'm not familiar with Gideon and... Wait, are you here because of my flyers? Thank Ruptka. Call me Yasara. I'm here on a thrilling, inspirational journey, and I could really use a sturdy companion. I'm an author. Aspiring, really. I've penned a few romance novels, but they all lack, what's the word? Authenticity, yes. So, I resolved to get out into the world and find my muse. Now, here's the exciting part. I found it in Castle Giaves. Yes, well, not exactly. A tragic affair played out there years ago, and love-struck spirits still haunt the castle. I acquired a magic lantern that allows me to speak to the ghosts. But you know, ghosts. I need you to ward off the angrier spirits. Thank you for agreeing to accompany me. With your help, my next romance novel will be a masterpiece. Here, take the lantern. Now, fair warning, I've never actually used it, but I heard a ghostly woman wanders the city gardens. We can test it there. Yes, well, I fancy myself one at any rate. My novels receive mixed reviews, but romance is a tough genre, you know? All those stuffy critics want his highbrow, elf in a parlor broods over losing his father's fortune type stuff. What a snooze. Because I'm a romantic, you silly. I mean, sure, I've never been in a really serious relationship, but let's be honest. Tales of people settling into stable marriages and living happy, fulfilling lives don't sell. People want passion, danger. Oh, yes, maybe too much. Castle Giaves has a long, tragic history. You've read Karlovac Townway's 2920 series, right? If not, you absolutely must. If I could write something half as satisfying, it would be a dream come true. Only the basics. My great-great-grandmother lived in Gideon for a time before immigrating back to Sentinel, and she brought back all kinds of stories. Some joyful, but most tragic. I just wish I could have met her before she passed to the far shores. Oh, you know, star-crossed lovers, murder, betrayal, that sort of thing. But like I said before, I'm done with those tired old cliches. I want facts. That's why we're going straight to the source. My great-great-grandmother may have embellished a bit. What storyteller doesn't? But every tale she told had some seed of truth to it. And after speaking to the people here in Gideon, I'm certain I'm onto something. You'll see. Just you wait. Well, I can tell you it's alien in origin. It's, you know, it's quite lovely, and it lets you talk to ghosts. Oh, that's easy. You just sort of jiggle it, or something. Look, I'm an impulse buyer, but I'm certain it will work. The orc I bought it from is a very reputable dealer. The ghost won't be able to resist its glow. You'll see.
Good ships along, Leo and Quay await the morning tide. Remember we shipped in Bravo port that sailed for Blackwood.
Well?
I'm learning a lot.
Lost in more than just my thoughts.
is it?
You made it! All right, this is the place where people see the spirit. Go on and try out the lantern.
Who intrudes upon my grief? Geovess's love. You can see me? It matters little. The miseries of Castle Geovess bind me here. Bind all of us here. We are cursed. Our gardens wither. Our once great walls crumble. And my gentle son feels nothing but heartache. I am Duchess Estella of Castle Geovess. As for the curse, it is the work of a vile trollop named Alizinda. Arche scorn her soul. My darling boy, Mathen was infatuated with her. And how did she repay his affection? By murdering him in cold blood. I cannot bear to speak of it anymore. My poor Mathen. I sense his presence sometimes. He's bound to the place where he died. An old cottage northeast of Geovess. Place where he and Alizinda trysted. Help him. Help my son. Succeed where his mother failed.
It worked! I told you it would work! Tall Papa's breeches, what a tale! A ghostly duchess, lusty young nobles, betrayal and murder. This story's got it all. Whew. Is it getting hot out here, or is it just me? Yes, tied to a cottage nearby. I can almost picture it. Rustic, secluded, tossel quilts, embers smoldering on the hearth. Gives me the prickles. Almost makes you forget someone likely died there. Something she said does trouble me a bit. The Duchess said the lover's name was Alizinda. That was my great-great-grandmother's name. It can't be a coincidence, can it? She lived in Gideon for a time before moving back to Alakir. Do you think my ancestor murdered Mathen?
I was nervous, thinking of trying to take the chasm. It was tough.
I was attacked in the streets of our fair city, Keshu. I demand you deal with the criminal post-haste.
Your guards did their job, Counselor Vandacia. The prisoner is secure.
And what's this? More assassins? Explain yourself immediately. One attempt on my life today is more than enough. If you're another one of those Dark Brotherhood bastards, I assure you, you won't find either myself or Governor Keshu to be easy prey. Warn me? As always, Leviticus offers too little and too late. I received the letter, same as the other counselors. My personal guard took the threat seriously, and we captured the assassin in the act. But what of my esteemed colleagues? Are they safe? Dead? All three of them? This is unimaginable. Feral Lupus's letter suggested the Longhouse Emperors left behind a secret that would prove to be a threat. But I thought he was just being melodramatic. Has Leviticus determined what this is about? Poor ambitions. Never heard of them. How could something I know nothing about make me a target of the Dark Brotherhood? It's got to be a mistake. You must question the prisoner. Get him to confess and reveal the truth of this sordid affair. Governor Keshu locked the prisoner in the holding cell in the courthouse basement. Question the villain and find out why the Dark Brotherhood is trying to wipe out anyone who was part of the Imperial Elder Council. I'll head for Leyawen afterward. I wish there was something I could tell you. The letter I received suggested that some old council business was the cause of all this. Why the Dark Brotherhood would be interested in such menial affairs, I'm not sure. I'm completely baffled. My personal guard is dedicated and well-trained. Not to mention lucky. I was nearing the courthouse when the assassins sprang from the shadows. My guards reacted instantly and overpowered the villain. We brought them here, and Keshu locked them away. As I said, I never heard the term. The Longhouse Emperors were enamored of secrets and code words, though. Perhaps I encountered it, but it was called something else. If you think it might be important, ask the assassin when you interrogate him. I'm not sure how relevant my ancient history is, but I was appointed to the Elder Council by Emperor Daedric himself. I helped guide the Empire through most of the reign of the Longhouse Emperors. Sadly, my role in guiding the Empire often put me at odds with the Emperors. I was rarely privy to their secrets. I'm afraid I can't shed any light on that particular mystery. Keshu the Black Fin. War hero, progressive Argonian, and governor of our fair city of Gideon. I serve as an advisor and bureaucrat. Nothing more. I have deep roots in Gideon, so I try to do my part to keep the wheels of government turning. As I said, I never heard the term. The Longhouse Emperors were enamored of secrets and code words, though. Perhaps I encountered it, but it was called...
The cell door is open. What happened here?
Poured something on the lock.
Some sort of acid.
Hit me.
Right through the lock.
And escaped.
Look, there's more of it on the floor.
He ran that way, toward the old ruins.
He almost knocked me over. How rude!
He attacked this legionnaire and ran into the ruins of the old city.
You're persistent, I'll give you that. All right, let's chat. Well met, brother. If I had realized you were in the area, I would have suggested we meet for a meal at the Egg and Hammer. The chef makes a superb fungus omelette. I suppose you're chasing me because of the incident at the courthouse, hmm? Well, aren't you a fast reader? Look, if you're here about Councillor Van Dacia's accusations, you have to know they aren't true. From your time with the Brotherhood, you must remember that if we set out to kill someone, they wind up dead. Evidence. I told the Speaker those calling cards would get us into trouble. It's not like we signed them or anything. Anyone can dip their palm in black ink and make a handprint. Look, there have been no contracts. I'm here on different business. Good question. As soon as you figure it out, let me know. I definitely want to have a chat with them myself. Now, it's been lovely seeing you again, but I really do need to get back to my daring escape. If you learn anything, I'll be in touch. If you come to any conclusions, do let me know. Ta-ta.
Cities can be just as fecal as people, but just as beautiful too.
So, the mercenary from Leowin has returned. Tell me, were you able to capture the assassin? Or perhaps you killed him in battle once you caught up to him? I am eager to hear the news. Allow me to peruse the document, if you will. Proof positive that the Dark Brotherhood is in Blackwood. We must find this sanctuary and destroy it. What did you expect? Such lies fall from his lips like rain from the sky on a stormy day. Villains never freely admit their guilt. The evidence is right here in this letter. Meet me in Leowin, and we'll share this information with Leviticus. What? Oh, my personal guard are nearby, and these legionnaires are sufficient. You need not be concerned. As for Keshu, she had business to attend to. Gideon business. I saw no reason to distract her from her regular duties.
The mercenary. A few moments later, and you would have found an empty cave. Your timing really is impeccable. We've already packed up my records, and we're about to head out. But what news of the other counselors? Did your warnings reach them in time? All three of them? That's disheartening news. Well, I'll take my records to Leowyn. Perhaps between the two of us, Counselor Leviticus and I can ascertain what past incident has returned to haunt us. Oh, just a lifetime of public service and bureaucracy. Mostly financial records, but also meeting notes, ledgers, those sorts of things. I oversaw budgets and finances, the collection of taxes, public works, and I kept immaculate records. That's good to hear. Emperor Leovic loved to hide things in coded documents. But what about Counselor Vendacia? Do we know if he's still safe in Gideon? Perfect. I look forward to conferring with the remaining members of the Elder Council. These Brigadines will make sure I get to the city safely. Me and my records both. I'll see you in Leowyn, mercenary.
Hope the room is... Oh, what a relief.
We simply must do something about the business, brother. These chambers are much too small for our lifestyle.
I realize that, Scipion, but Fangirls have us by the throat. What am I to do?
Got plenty of...
Well, now.
Here to listen.
You?
The Dark Brotherhood. They must be driven out of Blackwood.
I still can't figure out why they would be targeting us, Vandacia.
Eliminate the threat first. Then we can see.
All of the remaining counselors in Blackwood are gathered here in the castle. Valeria, Vandacia, and myself. While we await the arrival of the scribe I sent for, tell me what you uncovered in Gideon. I'm not sure I agree with Vandacia's assessment. Yes, I remember reports of their presence early in Morikar's reign, but they were driven out. The assassins must see this as the perfect opportunity to reclaim their base, but what does that have to do with Leovic's secret and the ambitions? Vandacia, Valeria, and I were just discussing that. We think Leovic had each of the counselors unknowingly working on a different aspect of the Ambitions project. They each had access to a piece of the puzzle, but no one but Leovic knew everything. That's our prevailing theory. If the counselors ever came together to compare notes, the truth of the Ambitions would be revealed. To stop that from happening, the Dark Brotherhood was sent to kill my colleagues. Indeed. Very curious. Still, I'm hesitant to take the word of an admitted killer at face value. Not with so much at stake. Regardless, their very presence still poses a threat to all of Blackwood. The Sanctuary cannot be allowed to reopen. Jiric's and Sophis' documents contain information written in Imperial code. I sent for the scribe, Aragon, but he has yet to arrive. Until then, the counselors will remain safe within these walls. You have done well so far, and have my thanks. Whatever the truth behind the murders of my fellow counselors, we can't allow the Dark Brotherhood to gain a foothold in Blackwood. I'd like you and Evely to go to Bloodrun Cave to ascertain the situation there. Talk to Evely and make your plans.